Alright, you guys, it is day 4. Yeah, day 4. It's kind of like the house look, whatever. But we believe we have found a place. The townhouses we looked at that we were able to go into, I really liked. And yes, I filled out the application. I got the deposit because there, the only way to secure a place is to get a deposit. And you can't do it like on a check form. You have to do it like a cashier's check. So you have to go like take the money out, etc. So I went and I did that, and I'm going to go turn in the application. Hopefully we'll get accepted. I think we'll get accepted. Got accepted to our last placement. It's more expensive. So I'm going to do that. After that, I'm going to go to Cece's. I have to talk to Frank, the general manager, about a job because I've talked to another manager that I worked with before, and he said, "Oh yeah, it's cool. You just have to talk to Frank because he's in charge." And I couldn't do that last night, so I'm going to go today because I texted him. He said he opens today, so he should be there. But yeah. So we went and saw The Little Mermaid at the White House Theater, and there were a couple things that concerned me. Number one, there's no playbills. This is a company called Broadway in Branson. And so pretty much what I would hear in that, if I didn't know anything about theater, is that these shows are supposed to be Broadway material. Because these tickets are $45 a piece. And we didn't pay that much. We paid about $12 a piece. So $45 is kind of expensive. And, yeah, so we paid that. And we went out and we saw it, and we were pretty upset. I did theater for 4 years in high school, and I still know a lot because I did it for 4 straight years. And I did it a little bit before high school too. So, so I know. I mean, stuff like that for me, I don't really forget how to do because you do it like every day for 4 years. So I can still do that, but it was really, really disappointing. And the one thing, this is what pissed me off the most, is last night someone wrote a bad review on their Facebook, and it wasn't like, and I was told this, so when you have a company page and someone does like a review and they leave you like a star rating, you can't delete it if it's bad. Well, this one wasn't a star rating, it was just a post to their page, and it was bad, and they deleted it. They deleted it. That is the most ridiculous thing ever. They don't even have the balls to have a bad review on their page. They delete it. It is insane. It's a bad... The show was horrible. I mean, I have seen better high school shows. I have seen better high school tech runs that they don't know what the hell they're doing. So, the first thing is, it was way too late. So it's supposed to start at 7:30, right? This is a kid's show. It didn't start till 8 o'clock. It was 30 minutes late running. I don't know why. They didn't tell us why. And that was one thing. So a lot of people had to leave at like 9 o'clock because, I mean, that's late for kids. This is a kid's show. And I'd have to say the good thing is the casting was really good. There's a couple that I would probably change. I would have probably changed Trident because he kind of looked too young, because Trident's supposed to look old, so he kind of looked like a young man with just gray hair. That's what he looked like. So I would have changed that. And Flounder was not like a little kid. Flounder is supposed to be a little kid. If you guys have never seen the show, Flounder is supposed to be a little kid essentially. And then Sebastian was really good. He had a really good voice and everything. It's just most of the time, to get like that sassiness, Sebastian is black, and here he was white. And I mean, don't get me wrong, like he did a really good job at all of his things and stuff. He's a really good actor. It's just sometimes, you know. But I mean, that's getting like really nitpicky. So those, I mean, the actor's choice was really good. There should have been more actors. The one thing also with Under the Sea, it was so bland and it wasn't exciting. And they didn't like interact with the audience because this is supposed to be a kid's show. So you're paying a lot of money to take your kid to this. And nobody like no kids like got up and danced. I mean, I helped with this show for the Variety Children's Theater of St. Louis. And their show variety was 1,000 times better. It was 1,000 times better. And these children who are up there, if you don't know who the Variety Children's Charity is, they're a charity, well, children's charity for disabled children. So all the children that were in the show, because that's what Variety does, is they put the children in the show, are usually blind. A lot of them can't walk. A lot of them. There was one guy in the show this year who couldn't see. So that was something. So it was kind of sad to see a professional performance that little kids, well, little kids were better at it, and I believe they had maybe a better time than that, but like these adults were just dancing. There was no acting. They didn't seem happy about the show. Ariel was pretty good. Ursula was really good. She was a big old sassy black lady. Didn't like her costume though. It was too big. And I mean, I guess you'd have to see it to know why. But yeah, Ursula was really good. Another thing is they had projections, which are really high tech for theater, and they cost a lot of money because they have to be huge. And some of the projections were really good, and then some of them were really bad. And also, they had this, like, what do you want to call it? Like, I guess, split layer to where part of it was out and then part of it was the wall. And when you project onto that and you don't look straight on, because we weren't in center, we were on a house right, it doesn't match up. So that was something. That was really bad. And they didn't need to use that on everything. There was a lot of the times where they just didn't need to use that, and they did, and I don't know. I would say probably the second half was better than the first half. And maybe because they were all human. I don't know. I was pretty upset with the show. If I had to give it a star rating, I'd probably give it 0.5. Okay, I would probably give it a 0.5 star rating. Half a star. It was pretty bad. I saw the changeovers were really, really long. The changeovers were really, really long. 99% of the time you saw the stage crew put out the set piece, if there was one, which means the stage manager and the assistant stage manager are not communicating. Because what is supposed to happen is your assistant stage manager is backstage and your stage manager is out in the audience, being able to watch the show. And so you give like so your stage manager will give a standby for the next scene, and then when the lights go out, then your stage manager says go to your assistant. The assistant tells the stage hands to go, and let's say there's 5 stage hands that are supposed to go out on the scene. They go out, they do stuff when it's dark, and then stage hands are supposed to come back to the assistant stage manager. Stage manager counts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They tell the assistant stage manager counts. They tell the stage manager they can go, and then the lights go up. That's how we did it in high school. And if you can't do that, and your crew hand is supposed to be, or has to be seen essentially, then they have to be in costume. And the one thing that annoyed the living shit out of me, which if this is you, Broadway and Branson, and you're watching this, don't ever, as a director or as a producer, jump on stage to pick something up that an actor dropped. Your actors are supposed to be trained enough to pick it up when they walk off, leave it, or kick it off the stage. That was ridiculous. And I am not a professional, and you guys said you went to school for this? That is ridiculous. This show was horrendous. And I am a picky person sometimes with shows, but I have seen this done correctly, and I am not happy with what you guys did. And if any of those people in there actually paid that full $45, I hope they get their money back, because you guys just robbed them of that money. And you robbed a lot of children with a lot of different things. And something that bothered me with Like, I'm a video major. You guys use projections. If you don't know how to use them, do not use them. They're hard to do, but when done correctly, they can be really good. And sometimes they were done correctly, and but a lot of the times they weren't. What else? I don't know. You shouldn't have that late of a show for a kid's show. I guess. Well, here I will break down what they shouldn't do right and what they did do right. So, what they did do right, the acting was really good. I liked the acting. There was a couple of characters that I probably would have changed or would have probably done something different with. With Trident, he should have been older. You could tell he was younger, even though he had gray hair. He kind of looked like someone who was stuck on an island and lost a lot of weight and just had a lot of long gray hair. That's what he looked like. He didn't look like the King of the Seas. Ursula was really good. Everyone was really good. I would have changed Flounder. He's supposed to be more of a kid, because the relationship between Flounder and Ariel is supposed to be more of like a kid who likes his babysitter kind of like thing, who gets along with his babysitter, but she's older, blah, blah, blah. So I would have changed that, but other than that, the acting was really, really good. Your lights were okay. I guess that's the only thing I can really say good about it is your actors. You did pick your actors very well. Okay, the bad things. This list is going to be long, so stay with me. So, bad things. Number one, you barely had any set pieces. If you're going to have projections, that's fine, but you got to have set pieces that the actors can interact with, or they're just standing on a blank stage. If I can fit a car on that stage, you're wrong. If the actors are so spread far apart, I can fit a car on the stage, then you need to redo some things. With the projections, some of them were really good, and some of them were horrible. When you have that split level, and you use projections, and you're not looking front on, the projections don't match up. And for 2/3 of the audience, they didn't. So maybe that's something you guys should think about. You thought it would be really good with the projections. Well, you were wrong with that part, and you guys could have you didn't need to use that step. With the scuttle flying through the projections, it was really cheesy and it looked bad. I guess, let's see, what else? I'm trying to think where I should start. When your actor is supposed to do something, this is one thing I noticed last night, and maybe it was a fluke, is in the beginning when Eric's on the ship and he has the fork and he throws it off, the fork didn't go off the boat. It stayed on the boat, and the reason the reason it's supposed to go off the boat is Ariel's supposed to find it later. How can she find it when it doesn't fall off the boat? Or it was plastic, because you could not hear it hit the floor. It could have been plastic. And if it was plastic, you need to get some real metal, because you need to hear that hit the floor. Eric. I would have changed Eric. He looked way too young. He looked way, way too young for this. He didn't look that well. He looked too skinny, too young. Because back then, back in that time, the fatter you were meant the richer you were. So Royal Highness, like princes, would have been fatter. They would have been built more because they had money for food. I know actors usually aren't like that these days, but sometimes you gotta sacrifice that. So that's something. Yeah, you had no set pieces, your projections. Start a show on time. I don't care if people are still in the lobby. You dim the lights 5 minutes before, and that gives people 5 minutes to get there. And if they didn't show up on time, that's their fault. And if you guys don't have the staff to put that many people in that fast, then that is your fault as well. So it's partly your fault. We started 30 minutes late, and you're on a kids show that's already running at 7:30. A lot of people had to leave because of that. Your breaks in between were horrible. You should not have that much time in between. You should not have enough time in between set changes to play music. In the beginning, do not play the music of the show. Play something else that's similar, because now we know all the music of the show and there's no surprise to it. I've seen the show and I've worked on the show myself, so I know the music already, so I knew that was the music, but kids won't be excited for the new songs if they've already heard the background to them. Do not bring your actors out on stage to take photos before. That is really, really bad. It ruins the surprise of what Ariel looks like. It does for the kids. And if you're going to focus this on kids, you got to focus this on kids, because If one kid wants to go, they're going to bring 2 parents, and that's 3 tickets you've sold instead of 1. So there's that. With costumes, sometimes they were spot on and sometimes they were really bad. With all the mermaids, you could see their butts because the costumes didn't fit them. And with the mermaids, is how it's done in the professional world is the mermaids are supposed to have different colored tails, and that's how you can tell the sisters apart. Not from their hair, from their different colored tails. So they were all the same. They did not look like mermaid tails. You are bringing something like this to children who know what Ariel is supposed to look like. So, like, the wig was spot on for Ariel. It was the bright red, but her tail didn't match what's seen in the movies. And kids don't like that. Kids do not like that deception. So, and kids will say, you know, we were last night and some kid said, I think Flounder's scary, I don't like him. That's what they said in the audience from a kid at intermission. So Flounder's supposed to be that squishy little guppy boy, and the kids didn't like him. Let's see. A actor party? No, this is not professional. If you want to meet your actors for like 5 or 10 minutes, that's fine, but you don't do a 2-hour after party because kids are going to want to stay, and you're already late enough as it was. We didn't get out of there till 10:15, and we were supposed to get out of there at 9:30. So, another thing. Your lights were sometimes okay, and sometimes they were bad. Your lights don't need to go into the audience. Unless the actors, like, if your actors are going to go into the audience to get kids to dance with them with under the seat, then you can have lights in the audience. But if you're not interacting with the audience at all, you don't need lights out there. It's not needed. Also, at the beginning of your show, you didn't do any disclaimers. You didn't say no smoking. I know the White House is a no smoking place. You didn't say no videotaping or flash photography. During the entire thing, I could hear people taking pictures. And if Broadway and Branson, if you don't know that already, then you need to reread your rights when you bought this show, because it is against the law, because Disney does own that, and you're breaking copyright laws, and Disney will sue you, and they will win. Another thing, you didn't say there was going to be any moving lights in the show. There could have been kids with epilepsy, especially if you're pointing towards kids. There could have been kids with epilepsy, and you didn't warn anybody about it. There was no playbill. Why isn't there a playbill? If the director wants to tell the people stuff and talk about how his people did a lot of really good things, then you need to have a playbill. I had no playbill. I had no director's note. I didn't even know who was playing in the cast because I had no playbill. That is bad. I have no playbill to look. So let's say I was a casting agent and I really, really liked Ariel, right? And she did a good job. I think she did do a good job. And I wanted to cast her in another show. I have no idea who she is. And that reflects poorly on you. What's another thing? Oh God, I think the list goes on and on. But I've been talking here probably about 15 to 20 minutes about this. So that's my review on The Little Mermaid, done with Broadway and Branson. I'm glad Ethan didn't get mixed up with you guys, because it would have been horrendous. And I hope your next show is better. But if you guys haven't run tech yet, don't put it out. Don't have people pay for it. There's these things called previews that are free tickets that people can just come sit and watch, and they watch you work through the kinks of your show. And these people last night paid to watch you through the kinks of your show, and that's not done in the professional world. So yeah, that's all I have for you for my review for Broadway and Branson. If you guys do live close, or if you guys were gonna go see it, I highly suggest not seeing it. It was really bad. Because what's supposed to happen now in the professional world, which I kind of hope they break this, is you're not supposed to touch the show again. You're not supposed to move any actors. You're not supposed to do anything, because the show is supposed to be the same every single night for every single person that sees it. So if they keep with that rule, it's going to be horrible every single night. So that's all I have for you guys on my review for Little Mermaid. I highly suggest do not seeing this. And I hope Broadway and Branson, you see this, because you deleted that comment on your Facebook, and that is just wrong. That is wrong, that you can't take criticism from people. And if you can't do that, then you don't deserve to be in the professional world. You don't deserve to be in the professional world if you can't take criticism from people. This is your first show, and if you expect it to go wrong, you go wrong. And producer, I don't know what your name is, but do not ever jump on stage. That is awful. You do that during rehearsals. You don't do that during people in front of you. That was bad. I was about to walk out at that point and demand my money back. I'm glad I only paid $12 for this. So yeah, that's all I have. The list goes on and on. You guys know what to do with everything. If you guys like these review things, I can review movies and stuff too. We were kind of curious to go see this, and we saw it, and I mean, I know most of the time you only hear reviews about bad things, but this was horrible. And we were last night, a nearing counties had a tornado warning, and it expired before the show started, but there was still some heavy rain and stuff. And like with the intro, you know, they didn't have anything, and they also didn't tell us if they had a plan for if anything were to happen, because it was raining pretty hard, and there was a lot of wind, and there was lightning, and there was thunder, and they didn't tell us, like, we have a plan if something were to happen. So I know you go to the bathrooms, but like, you got a lot of screaming kids and a lot of people there at night. It's nice to hear that the place has a plan, and you should have a plan for that many people. But yeah, so I guess I'm going to stop now. That's all I have for you on my review on The Little Mermaid, done one with Broadway and Branson at the White House Theater here in Branson, Missouri. It was bad. I wouldn't go see it. But yeah, so that's all I have for you. Bye! Alright, so I just filled out I just did all the application stuff, and then they had one. The one that we originally looked at was already taken, but they had another one, which I'm kind of excited it was already taken, because the one we got was better. The one that if we get approved that we will get is on the end, so we only have one neighbor, and we have like the end for Bruce, and then we also have twice as many windows because one side isn't taken up by people. So that's kind of exciting. We get the end.
You have an incoming.
Hello? Oh, no. I've already left. Huh, so. Alright. Well, it'll be $100 cheaper than what we pay now, and that'll cover trash and water. So. Alright. Bye. Anyways. So I did all that. It's on the end. We have twice as many windows. We don't have anybody next to us, so which is really nice. We are closer to the busier street, which I do not prefer. But I will probably keep Bruce inside most of the time, unless I'm outside with him, because that's just kind of how it works. Because I don't have a house. I just have a townhouse. So, but yeah. It's raining. It's not raining really bad. But, last night, holy crap. We were down in Branson, which is probably about an hour away from Springfield. And Springfield had tornado warnings. They said there was cloud formation that was in a spiral that could result in tornadoes. So we had tornado warnings last night. No touchdowns, thank God. But it was crazy. I mean, it went from like perfectly fine to just pouring rain, and I wish I was there, and I kind of am glad I wasn't. This person, why are they driving so slow? Speed limit is 40 and you're driving 30. Come on, you're on a busy street and you're in the left lane. You're in the right lane and you're in the left lane. But anyway, so that was kind of scary. But yeah, so overall, I hope we get this place. It's going to be so much nicer. And then I can focus more on my couponing blog and doing videos for you guys. Because I really do enjoy doing these videos. And I really do enjoy vlogging. And I might do it more on top of my other videos. Because I enjoy it a lot. It was really weird in the beginning. And if any of you guys are going to start a vlog channel, I highly suggest doing it. And not for the subscribers and for the money if you're doing it for that reason. But it's kind of nice just to talk to somebody who doesn't answer back, I guess. Just to talk to someone, and it's weird looking into a camera and you'll get weird looks and everything. But hey, what you gonna do? People are weird nowadays. Come on. But anyways, I can't breathe out my nose. But yeah, so I'm going to go talk to the manager at my old work to get a job. And then hopefully we can do this. Yeah. Hopefully summary. I'm just kind of totes my goat about this. About this, I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty excited to finally have a place to live. And if this video job goes through, I'll be making more money, which will help so much more for this place. Just because it's just, I'm hoping everything falls into place because who knows? The last couple weeks have kind of been rough. Actually, I'd say the last semester has kind of been rough overall. But we pulled through, and yeah. So I guess that's how I'm going to end this part because I have nothing else to say. The weather is cloudy. Chance of rain, I think like 30%. Little drizzle. And there and again. Yeah, it is currently 73 degrees outside, so it's not too bad. I highly suggest wearing a light jacket, depending on what you're used to. If you're used to hot, you're gonna wear a light jacket. If you're used to cold, you're thinking it's gonna feel really nice outside. But yeah, I mean, I like to wear a nice jacket. So that's all for Haley's weather forecast of the day for Springfield, Missouri. If you guys would like your weather forecast told, leave me your zip code down below, and I will tell it to you. Or if you have an iPhone, you can just look at the weather app, because that's what I do. So I guess that's all I have for you right now. If you guys haven't already, I did a review video, just a review video for my Broadway and Branson thing that I went and saw last night. It was pretty bad, but if you guys want to hear about that, I'll have a link down below to that, because I kind of talked about it for a long time, so I decided to do it as a separate video instead of part of my vlog, because the video started out as a vlog, and then it kind of just turned into that. So I'm going to edit that to where it's just a vlog video. But yeah, so I guess I will see you guys later.